de una revolución. No los queremos, no los necesitamos.
Arrested for vagrancy, marijuana, heroin, cocaine.
No. Where'd you get the beauty scotch, tough guy? Eating pussy?
Here it is from bad to worse, dropping the verse first. So here comes the first verse. You never thought I'd show up, make a track, just blow up. It ain't my fault, this road's torn from the front up. Headstrong, that's the title of the song. I don't know where we all can get along, but the man has gotta understand that this land could be run by this Mexican. Whose is it? Whose was it? Who does it? Man, who gives a shit? All I hear is the same song, when all I wanna be is headstrong.
I do like it. They tell you all the time what to do, what to say, what to feel. You want to be like a chick, like all those other people.
Standing in the middle of a war zone, dealing with all this shit, cause I ain't never seen fit to quit. Take one look, you wanna throw the book, but I ain't going down for what somebody else took. Who the fuck said the white way was the right way? When all I'm trying to do is have a nice day. I don't wanna be the one to fry and just die, cause I got too much brown pride. You know where I am? Don't cross the line, cause I can do a lot more than just rhyme. My states are united, my race is divided, and when it gets stressed, you wanna wrap me up in plastic. Who the fuck dropped the ball? No liberty, no justice for all. No liberty, no justice you call. When all I wanna be is headstrong.
I'm headstrong. I'm headstrong. I'm headstrong. I'm headstrong. I'm headstrong. I'm headstrong. Motherfucker! 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 Headstrong! 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 Motherfucker!
Fuck what you heard, I've been known to be absurd. I know what the fuck's up, and know how to kick a word. I don't give a fuck if Uncle Sam is mad at me. Trying to lock me out just for stressing my reality. What the fuck, Chuck? I'm heavy as a Chevy truck. Say goodbye to the one that don't give a fuck. System don't want me to fight, cause I ain't white. Try to keep me poor in trouble and not at all bright.
And welcome to another BANGover podcast album history, back in the day, review,
Anniversary,
The way back times.
release, reissue, discussion.
It's
all of it.
Kind of a local band, Texas band. Today we're doing Body Count. No,
Just kidding. You thought it was.
we're
No, it's
actually.
not.
I hope everyone got checked, and because today, like, we're gonna be pissing razors, and it's first
Checked for what?
demo.
STDs?
First demo.
Checked for gonorrhea.
Yeah.
I hope everyone gets their antibiotics ready. How do you get rid of gonorrhea? The clap.
The clap. That's not how you get rid of it. That's also what it's called, though. But yeah, you want
just
to go to the
clap it
doctor.
away.
You just clap it away. Clap
Like-
on, clap off.
Yeah.
Lights. What we're
Like,
doing? Going way back
Clap
time,
for me,
90s.
Peter.
early
Clap
two-
for me. Clap. Psycho Punko Metal
Groove.
released in
Metal.
1996. A demo being re-released, reissued, right, Chris?
This month.
This month, yeah. So when this album, we're doing this in the past. This is like, time travel,
machine.
right? Yeah, the time machine part of this. So I got to think about the future. And you can find Pissing Razors on Instagram at PissingRazors915. So follow them so you can see any up and coming stuff. The song we just played was interesting. I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
it's like it comes out of nowhere. They have like, is it like two? I think just two of these songs on this album.
There's
that are
two
kind
that's
of like
kind of like, rock.
1996.
Yeah.
Are you gonna introduce us?
Oh, right.
Jesus.
yeah.
I should just do it.
Should do it every time. Can we cut and we go back? We should
No,
edit this
no.
out.
Would you
Okay,
just fucking introduce
The time
us?
machine's
Who are
cut
you?
off.
Who are you? Who are these voices people are hearing?
It's a BANGover podcast. As always, your host, Scott Allen here. Hi. Myself. And producer, Chris Myers.
That's it.
And co-host, Bria Bill.
Also, I guess. Yeah, commentary for this episode. Super fan
Super
of
fan.
music, fan of things.
Super fan. And you can follow us on Instagram at BANGover Productions, Facebook at BANGover ATX, and then on YouTube at BANGover Productions, so you can see all our stuff. And then you can follow me personally at Scott Allen 133 ALAN 133.
You have the
on
most
Instagram.
confusing one.
Really? Okay, let's move on.
Wait, Chris. You can follow Chris.
I don't even know mine. It's my name and then maybe some digits after.
You're
but
fucking terrible.
I was ready with it.
You can follow me.
I'm becoming a professional
I'm gonna
podcaster.
start just whoring myself too. You can follow me, Bria Arbiel.
See, everybody
Bria?
has
Instagram.
Bad
It's my
Instagram,
first
so
name.
It's like,
And R, and then
And
my
then
last
R.
name.
okay, well that's pretty easy, I guess.
Yeah,
But this
fuck yourself.
133.
There's a lot of Scott Allens.
You got nonsense after you.
There was a lot of
It's
Scott
like
Allens.
13, but it's 133. I don't even know.
I got it from Slipknot.
All right, that's
That
cute.
guy
That's
is his name. 133 in the band, so I don't know. I always liked how that
Sure.
flowed.
flowed.
Yeah, 133 just sounds. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I met that guy in a bar one time I worked at.
High five.
Yeah. And yeah, we're talking about metal. Metal, my thing.
Your
The
business
thing I
things.
love the most.
Your
In a
choice.
band that I guess I know because of Chris. I feel like I've heard this like before we were doing this episode. Like I've heard this. You've played it before, or I heard it prior a couple of times. Where I was like, oh yeah, a lot of these songs are familiar. Something we listened to back in the day when we were in the depths of the CD case.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
when CD collecting was a thing, I definitely
Exactly.
I made it an effort to get every one of their CDs back in that time when that was a
yeah.
thing. So
And Chris always being the one person always bringing new music to our group, and then
You mean this wasn't a part of Ryan's CD case?
no.
Which, by the
No.
way, I ran into him and he's still
this is
alive.
part of Chris's.
Oh, he's alive.
He's alive and he listens to the podcast. I asked him. He said he listened to one episode.
Oh, one. Okay.
One.
He doesn't realize that we like totally reference him.
I know.
and
I said
talk
it to
about
him like
in
3
songs.
times, and
Yeah.
as in true Ryan fashion, he was always just kind of like blacked out every time I was talking to him. So
I think Ryan would have had this in his CD case, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely grooved to it, like in the
yeah,
car, like when we're
exactly.
going to like
Yeah.
Warhound gigs and stuff like that. This was like definitely stuff we were listening to like pump ourselves up and stuff.
Given the opportunity, he would have bought it. you
Same
know?
with Jacob too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I was like, I think I've heard this time and time again. Probably for you really like this band, right, Chris? You were like, man, I fucking love this band. Now
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
coming back.
it was a time when like when everybody was kind of just using the internet to find new music. Like when that, I mean, we still
Right.
do it to this day, but it's
But it
kind
was
of when it
we're
went.
talking like 8
now it's
years,
like
if not.
taken for granted.
10?
But I mean,
Yeah.
back when it
Yeah.
was like, oh, you could actually utilize this resource and find interesting music through torrents or whatever, or YouTube.
Yeah, Spotify
really,
didn't have
YouTube
everything
wasn't
when it first
really.
started. YouTube, you
Wasn't
really had to
kinda, yeah.
dig to really find it. You know what I mean?
The real thing was like Wikipedia and stuff like that. That type of stuff existed where you could like type in a thing like, I want to know about every band in this genre, and you would hit that
And then
genre,
links for
then
other bands,
Just a list
yeah.
of bands would come up, and that's when you start like
Yeah,
typing
you
stuff
type
up and
in
listening to samples or
one of your favorite bands and then see what other bands that they've influenced or have been in and you're like, oh, just finding these bands that were like
You do see
No,
you,
it's
you
in
see
the,
associated acts a lot.
recommended artists.
God, how many rabbit holes did you guys go down?
Oh
doing
my
that?
God, a
'Cause
lot.
I spent
I think we were
nights.
born to do this podcast. That's why.
Yeah,
fucking-
this is a
I
band.
would make lists of like I'd go online and make lists of like, hey, you might
Yeah.
like
Yeah, me
this,
too.
and then I have to write them down because access to a computer at that point and
Yeah,
how
it was
slow the
just
fuck internet
save,
was.
screenshot it if
you
you
just
know.
write down
not
all
like-
these bands
Before
No.
the cell phone
Yeah.
days.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I can't like countless lists I
mean,
can think of like
just taking a picture of
bands
my
you write down to like remember
laptop.
later on.
No, I remember having a notebook next to the computer that was like out in like the living room of my house, writing shit down, being like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I gotta look
I've
this
had a
up.
couple of
I
those
gotta go to
lists.
fucking
Horror movies,
what was it?
bands.
I gotta go to me too.
yeah.
I gotta go to FYE and like
Yeah.
search for all these CDs.
Yeah, and then it's just sometimes it was just knowing about a band and like hearing stuff on the radio or somewhere, and you're like, okay, I want to go buy an album, and you're like, which album? I got fucked with Testament on doing that. I got that fucking what was it, like Hearts and Souls? It was like their '92 album where like everything was becoming more like polished metal at this point.
Yeah.
It was just no. I wanted the thrash Testament, but I didn't get that album. I got 5 albums later, polished ballads.
I think we all got fucked over in our CD collection because of the not so much access to things like that.
Well, some bands just nail it every time. And Chris, do you think
Or you
like
fall in love with a
Pissing
single?
Razors is one of these bands where it's like you could grab any one of their albums and be like,
Well, that's why
fuck yeah.
I did. I bought like I remember I bought this like collection of just all the album or like I went online and literally bought every album I could get at that time, CD case, like hard form. Because one, it's hard to find that stuff, so you have to order it online, and it's also kind of going along with the discovery thing because then like you see like people in this band like members like will kind of go over like different members and stuff, and then you start learning about acts that they were also in or associated with. And like at this time I'm kind of like grooving on Pantera a lot at this point in my life when I discovered them. So it's like I'm looking up bands that are similar like groove metal, and then the fact that they're from Texas.
There you go.
Boom, you lock in that like that
kind of
fits
same time
the,
frame.
like,
This is '96.
yeah, and I think they even did play.
of
I think they did
Pantera,
open
you know?
for him maybe in town, at some
Sure.
point, and then I think they did do the tribute album. So it's like they definitely have this like Texas groove, sharp edge to their sound. Kind of it fits that like Pantera thing that I was like seeking at that point. So that's why I gravitated to it. I was like, I ate it up, whatever it was. I want that sound.
I can kind of see like looking back, did this like influence your songwriting a little bit? Because I remember like in the Gorehound days, we just kind of had that like edgy a little bit more.
If you listen to it, it
you know?
influenced the times, the switching of time.
That's what Bria was saying. She was like, "This is fucking." It's a weird.
Like they'll be on
Like
a groove,
formation.
but then all of a sudden
Yeah.
the time signatures, the tempo
just
switches and the
change.
time signature changes.
That's
or
why I said
something.
it was kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
But I,
Well, what am I doing here?
at the same time of being all over the place, it has that modern. I don't want to say pop because it's not pop, but it's that
Groove
like
metal.
Yeah,
it's,
groove
it's,
metal.
it's very radio friendly in a sense where it's like verse, chorus, verse, song structure wise, but it's
Yeah.
But breaking up like
But their
taking a
verse is
chorus-
insane and then the chorus is insane,
exactly.
so it's like-
so you're still making it simple, dude. That's what like
Yeah.
every prog rock band does too. It's like you can take something as crazy as like Rush, and then really come on, like they're just verse, chorus, verse, chorus.
they're
verse,
breaking it
but
down. Yeah,
You can tell there's still a
Inside
method
each
to
part,
it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
inside
Yeah.
each part is just a lot.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of in goes kind of with the Pantera thing where it was you look at the way they write their songs and those songs are structured. They're very formulaic when it's like verse, chorus, verse. Here's the like solo part. Then we're gonna go into the breakdown. You know what I mean? At some point, it is like that. You can kind of tell where the song is gonna go. And so that I mean, it's easy listening. If that makes sense, it's easy.
Groove metal,
it's metal
Chris.
easy
It's
listening.
It's
Yeah.
in the title of this.
I can just
Groove
put it
metal.
on and like it's not gonna like challenge me too much, but it's also not gonna treat me like I'm an idiot in a way. So
I like
it's
how you
like-
put
It
that.
doesn't
like,
make you want to stomp like the stage, like what we've been
No,
watching. Like
It-
the
well,
yeah,
videos.
Igor?
it does make you want to stomp at times. You get a little like
Woo.
Dime even did some stomping.
Makes me want to headbang.
Like I said, you gotta get those boots, cut off
Yeah.
shorts, stomp on some stages.
Yeah.
You ready?
So that's my pull to it. Is it's like, and it's very 90s.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, do you want to get into a little bit of the history of the band? Because we can have Miss Bria Beal
Yeah.
give us a little bit of the history of this band that started
Bria!
so long
Yeah.
ago.
Okay, I'm gonna say the beginning of it because that's what we're really focusing around. Is like beginning, and this is the demo, as we said earlier.
This is the start.
This is the start of it. So, the band was started by brothers Eddie and Danny Garcia in the early 1990s. And
Another brother band.
Yeah.
That's again another.
Danny and Eddie.
Yeah.
They sound like great guys. And was originally named Backdoor Cyclops, which Scott just realized meant butthole.
Yeah.
It's a butthole.
I never think of like how dirty some names are. I'm just like,
You don't? That's what I,
I just
do.
see
I do that
backdoor
first.
Cyclops. And I'm like, all right, playing on words with Cyclops.
Backdoor.
Cyclops
What's a
instead.
backdoor? Your butt.
Thinking metal.
Cyclops, one eye, butthole. Anyway, they then changed their name after a coin phrase thought up by the original vocalist Dave McNutt, which is great. His last name is
McNutt.
McNutt.
You make that up?
After he contracted the clap and described the pain. So he felt like he was pissing razors
That's a great
from
origin
the
for a
fucking
band
pain.
name.
That he got.
Which
clap.
gonorrhea
Yeah.
is, that's why we mentioned gonorrhea earlier. This is a clap, same thing. In the late 1990s, McNutt quit and Joe Rodriguez was brought on a short time later. Drummer Danny Garcia decided to move from El Paso, Texas to New York City, and Eddie took this opportunity to switch from playing guitar to drums while Matt Lynch moved from bass to guitar, sorry. This left the group with a spot for a new bassist, Rick Valles, a longtime guitarist who used to be part of another band with Joe Rodriguez, was then hired as the new bassist. This lineup proved to be progressive as the four began to work on new material. There's a lot of interchanging members. This band is just a rotating cast, for real.
Sure.
After the, I think is like, let's see, after the second album, they get a new guitar player, but then after that, it just kind of starts rotating and rotating. So those first two albums are very, like you were kind of saying, you listen to a lot of stuff on the Brown album, which is Fields of Disbelief, kind of has
Right.
the face and stuff, and that is the third album. So they swap guitar players for that album. So those first two albums, not only are they carrying over some of these songs from the demo, because like that song Box Life, which I kind of showed you an A-B of, they and we'll kind of play in it. I picked that song also, so we'll kind of hear it. But it's an example of taking these demos and reworking them for later release, which some bands really don't do a lot of. And I kind of like that, to hear the like progression of something. So like, I don't know. We being in a band, we talk about that type of stuff when it comes to making music. We're like, we're going to record this, then we're going to move on to the next songs.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's never like we're going to record this and then given if somebody comes to us with more money or better equipment, do we want to record that last song we just did because we could actually do it better? Or
I would always say yes to re-recording, especially if it's a song that I really like, and that if I really like the song, then I really want to show it to people. So when I love a song, that I can promote it because I'm in love with the thing. I can't lie about it. If it's a song that it's okay, like I'm not gonna push. That being said, like anything that we create in our band, I kind of love most of it, maybe because I'm creating it, but I would love to just remaster, re-record, or retry something that was pretty fucking good. Something that shouldn't be forgotten.
yeah. Well,
Because these are songs and we move on, but we can always come back a little bit later with more experience.
for this album in particular, the guitar player moves from guitars to drums
It's
for the
insane.
first album.
Yeah.
So you have a new person, which is the bass player, now playing guitar, and then someone else playing bass for that first full-length album. And then they're recording these older songs. You know what I'm saying? It's like the old people that played on this demo are now playing different instruments on the actual release
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
and re-recording it. So it's It's
It's
very
just from guitar to drums. It's like
It's super interesting to compare back to back, I think.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
And not only is it just like a time period jump and a production jump, it's actually different music. It's the same group of people swapping instruments almost and recording the same song.
And pretty much shout out to Eddie Garcia because it's his longest member. He kept it going. It's a drummer's band.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, drummer brothers. Me and you, man. Yeah. Drummers
Still
keep
in
shit
it.
together. That's what we do. We keep shit together. To be a lesson to everyone out there.
This guy over
Drummers,
here.
hold it down.
This fucking guy, yeah.
Long term.
No, you just don't say anything. That's how you keep it together. Should I mention the rest of the show? In 1997, after submitting countless demos to record labels across the U.S., the band was signed to German, Los Angeles-based Noise Records. That's crazy. Hold on. It's a German Los Angeles
That makes sense.
record company? Okay.
Yeah, I looked up some of their...
It's how you distribute stuff. It's how you get past distribution laws between like having... taking stuff that was recorded here in America, sending it over to Germany, and sometimes vice versa.
Dude,
it's the only way you can distribute stuff like that because the internet wasn't really a thing.
That's true. This is
yet.
in 1997, so...
the bands on Noise Records are vast. Like they're in some...
You have to be. And then sometimes on
like
record labels, they're just distributing other people's albums. They didn't make anything.
True.
They're just helping push.
Here's a few bands that you've probably heard of that are on Noise Records. Celtic Frost.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've heard of that band.
Here's one.
Creator. Halloween. Gravedigger. Mm-hmm. So just these kind of like thrashy, like death metal kind of almost bands. Yeah. Creator, Halloween,
Celtic Frost.
Dude,
you ever heard of a band called Celtic Frost?
Really, like when it comes to thrash metal bands, like those first two like bands back in the day when they first started, man, just some of the greatest thrash metal stuff ever. Say what you want. I don't know about Celtic Frost, but I always felt like it was thrash metal. I always feel like everything's thrash metal because it's funkin' metal.
It's fucking
yeah. So that's who's on them. At least if you go to their page today, those are some of the bands that are listed. So you kind of, I don't think necessarily Pissing Razors is still on Noise.
They're not.
Yeah, they did, but they did their first few, pretty much the first three, I believe.
Well,
but yes.
After they were signed, they released their self-titled CD the following year. 5 more albums were released in the band's 4-year existence, and the band got the opportunity to participate in several festivals and shows across the world. In 2000, the band was asked to contribute a song for a Pantera tribute album entitled Panther, a tribute to Pantera, from Eclipse Records. They provided the opening track, Domination.
fucking hit that shit, Chris.
I don't have it pulled up.
Motherfucker.
Wow, you dropped the ball on that.
We can edit this out. It's okay.
Should we play that as one of our songs?
Let's do it.
Well,
let's totally do it.
I just wanted to show the audience a little bit of what it sounded like because it's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's them doing a fucking tribute to Pantera. What we would all just play it, Chris. Jesus fuck.
All right, I'll give it I'll give it a shot. But what I like about it also is like when I kind of like saw that they did that, I was like, oh my god, the association of it all just kind of like makes sense. And then
that's great. That's perfect. It's still theirs. It's not like them doing a cover. It's still their song.
Yeah. So here's a little taste, and you can even tell in the beginning it's like crazy different.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, a bit different.
See, they're like doing something different.
I think that's the best thing I fucking heard all day.
But you can kind of hear it right here.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking into that.
So like,
Sick. Now I'm a fan.
I mean,
earlier,
they have so much stuff. Bria, you just now being kind of introduced
I
into
think-
this, knowing about the
So
band.
I
but-
had heard of
yeah,
them, but never like actually sat down and listened to them. And I will admit, today is like the first time I sat down for like an hour and listened to them. But yeah, no, it's good shit. They're entertaining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's there's so much to listen to out there. So
I'm interested in what's gonna come next because they are about to release a new album this year, and they've put out 2 singles and a music video, which is all self-produced type stuff. So it's I don't know. It's again going back to that kind of local promoting the local scene in a way, keeping it
you're talking about Death March 2020?
Death March. Yeah.
Yeah, upcoming up in March. Clever.
No, I don't know if it's in March.
Oh, I
but
thought it was.
It may. It may.
March 2020. I just,
Oh, it does.
I mean, it says Death March 2020,
Okay.
so
I thought it was just
assume-
you. So yeah.
Oh, you just put no.
Yeah. But
Whatever.
I mean, with any like signs, it's going to be coming out relatively soon. Let's just say close to that because I mean they already have 2 singles out. It seems like they're actively.
Eulogy Death March in March
Yeah.
2020.
That makes
Maybe
sense.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
This modern band that's been in hiatus for so long, that's coming back. That's kind of local. They're kind of making a small.
Yeah, they they weren't a band for like 10 years. They stopped the things in 2004, and then they got.
Well, think about it too, because we
2014.
talked about this time and time again, where this was they started off in the 90s, right? Like 94 is when they
this
first
sound.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a hard time for bands to make albums that they want to make or like on their own terms. And it's not like you record an album, you hit the road. You record an album, you hit the fucking road. Because that's what the record label's telling you to do. That's what works. That's what success is. Work, grind. Yes and no in some ways, because, if we learned from Motorhead, that's all like Motorhead based their like sound and their aggression on, or their what made them Motorhead is working on the road, grinding.
Yeah.
That was
But-
their thing.
But it will kill someone, and it usually what drives people away from the music industry or bands to break up because it's so relentless, and you don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it just goes on for 10 years like that, and you just wither in age. It's extremely, So nowadays we can play by our own rules as bands because we have the internet. And it is a good and a bad thing because now we can
Now it's oversaturated.
produce, we can distribute, we can sell it online,
Yeah,
we
we can
can
do it
push
all
out,
ourselves.
Give it direct to the fans.
world.
Yeah.
not just here locally, but to the world. People in Japan, people in fucking Korea, in Russia can listen to this if you have the internet. You know what I mean? So that's what's changed everything, and now bands can come back together, and that's what I believe. I don't know if that's a fact, but it's kind of looking that way because we've seen so many bands come back after 10 years.
Well, you can have like
From the 90s, from the 80s, because now
Yeah.
we play by our own rules. We can set our own tours.
Now we can do our own shit.
We can do what we want to do because it's supposed to be fun and not like turned into this like make a dime, make money.
Well,
so we make money.
with the internet now, you as
Being
a
the record
band can
label.
like get a direct feedback from your fans instead of like having to go through that third party of like a record label or a marketing or
people
whatever.
Yeah,
buying
it
your
also
album.
So, like-
makes it more personal.
Exactly. You don't know how many fans you really have back in the day because you don't know who's getting reached in Europe. But now it's very direct when someone sends you a message, hey, I listened to your music and I really dig you. And they're from another country or whatever. It's like you kind of get a real tactile feeling almost of like who is like listening because they're reaching out and saying, hey. And I mean, this band in particular of the modern age, I've been in communication with their manager, Terry, who's awesome. Shout out. Helped a lot on this episode and just future episodes and stuff like that and just communication. But that's another thing. It's just bands being real personable now. You can actually like message them on Instagram, message them on Facebook or something. And more
you
than
buy a
likely,
shirt personally from
Yeah.
them and not from a third
you will
party.
hear from the band or you will hear from their manager or you will hear from somebody, pretty personable. It's not personal, or it is personal. It's not I don't know, back in the day, just writing letters to fan clubs and getting like a sticker back or something. It's more
Right.
like,
And finding
hey,
yourself.
Hating yourself.
And then building your own kind of scene, your own underground scene, your own death march. That being said, like, big bands, it gets pulled way out of their capability of controlling said thing. You have to hire publicists, whatever, to like really do your social media, but always having time to like, a really great band still has time to come out. They'll watch the other bands in the crowd. They're not going to be too rock and roll, like sitting in the green room, totally away from everything. I believe we still have like the Foo Fighters, huge band, but you can find those people like in everyday life and they'll be very nice.
Yeah, I've heard Dave Grohl's a very
you can find him in a crowd at a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not going to be like too prissy. And that's one thing that separates a really great band, Plus, that's what kind of made like underground scenes so thrive. Like that made them thrive so much is because of the 1960s and 70s rock and roll glam success and super polished. And you have to be a super talented musician to do this. Once we get into the own DIY, all these bands come out of like, the suburbs and just out of Seattle because there is no bands playing there. And it's
rock.
Yeah, and then punk rock, prior to that, because you're like, fuck that. Anyone can pick up a guitar and let's try to do it, And it definitely changes the game as, technology comes and things become easier. And we just learn how to do it in different ways. And like this band tried to play by the rules back in the day and it didn't work out for them. But we know that from...
I think that's the way the music industry kind of was at the time, where
Grand Funk Railroad was
bands
that story.
Bands aren't
That's
getting
insane.
paid, or they're getting fucked over.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're human beings too. They need to make a living. If we're putting all our effort into these albums and we have a record label,
10% of all
out?
sales come to them, and then you have to cut that off and give 5% to your manager or something like that. That was, that's insane numbers.
And if you're
when we talk about those things,
who knows what your like life goals are at that point. But if you're, say, in the middle of trying to start a family or something, and then like,
which has happened, like there's like at least two.
That's life.
No,
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I mean
Life
directly
happens.
to this band.
True, yeah.
Sure.
Is there
But
was a member
time and time
who
again, that's
left
just a lot of
because
stories.
family,
Family,
and needed money.
exactly,
because you're on the road, just
Yeah.
touring, grinding.
like if I'm going to be away from my
miserable.
family, it's got to pay off.
thrilling,
If it's not going to
exciting.
pay off, then I gotta.
Yeah.
And that is the sad reality of music industry.
Yeah.
Where, like that's why you got to support the local type stuff if you want to see it, if you like it.
Yeah, we gotta go
Go
out.
to shows.
go
Go
to shows.
out.
So we can
Pay
have
the
more
$5
shows. Yeah.
and watch, a good band or even a beginning band that's
Even if
kind
it
of
is
shady.
that $5, because
Like,
it's
just-
paying them to get there. It's their gas or whatever. Even if it's
Yes,
not gas, it's
find
it's
a tiny
confidence.
venue and go
It's-
to it wherever you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
find local bands that you like and start following them. I'm not
Support
Yeah,
them.
you don't have to go out and just fucking settle. Like there's
No.
always something, and you'll be.
But don't be
surprised.
afraid to walk into a small venue when there's a band playing and just
Exactly.
fucking try it out.
If you like them, buy their CD if they have one. If
Yeah.
you like them, buy the
That-
shirt that
that's
they
their
have.
gas
Like,
money.
Follow
Yeah.
them on Instagram.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Follow them on Instagram. Go download their, Spotify or whatever, Apple Music. Like, start listening to it because bands see that type shit. If you start listening to them on digital platforms, most underground bands, they put it up there themselves. They uploaded it and stuff themselves, and they're keeping track of their own analytics. So they're seeing it themselves. It's not like some other person's watching it and then telling them. They're more than likely logging in, and it's their email that's attached to it, and it's their account. So they're seeing in real time people care.
Yeah, and then you just sharing it on your own social media website as well. Like you like something, post it, send a link, be like, other people should listen to this. It's never like, I never feel like it's pushing on someone. It's like, hey, I really like the song. I would want the world to hear this, That's how I always feel when I hear something really good.
I remember when
So,
when social
you can
media
click on
started,
it
that was like the thing.
or not.
People
No.
were just like sharing music videos and songs.
That's
and just
all
like,
it should be.
Yeah, when
That,
you'd go on
pictures
someone's
of dogs.
MySpace page and it
That's
was
like all it was.
That's
It
just
was
all
a
you were allowed to
song.
post. It
but
was-
like
yeah,
no, but like you had
do the
your
widgets.
your
You do the little widget.
but you had your profile, and then there'd be like when it first started out, it was one song that you got to pick, and it would be like
Your
the theme
thing,
of your
yeah.
fucking profile, and then you had a list of songs. I'd
It
go
was
on-
great for musicians back in the day.
I loved it because I'd go on my friends that were really into music. Like I have been, like I would go on their page and be like, oh, what 5 songs did they pick, and go through that shit. Fucking listen to it.
I mean, MySpace, all this social media
I also remember my
started
friends
with like
fucking with me and posting weird shit.
Yeah.
discovery. And that's the point. It's like trying to show other people new things or what you like because
Right.
not you know.
And since Facebook won't do it themselves and they suck when it comes to band pages,
God,
and
yeah.
Instagram is just whatever Instagram wants to be, we should, as fans around the world, take control of our social media platforms and just post things that we like, you know? Bands, posting music videos, just stuff like that. That kind of content is what I would love to see more and more. And you know, that would just take away all the piss out of Facebook. It's just like, now it's all music, asshole. Now it's all music.
Yeah. That's what I like. I mean, even we see it from like contemporary artists of ours here in town, like posting music videos or whatever the hell.
You get
like,
gigs
And
coming up,
fucking
pictures,
look
stuff
at
like that. That's
Bandcamp.
fun. It's
Look
fun.
at Bandcamp. Everyone
Yeah.
should look at Bandcamp. It's such a useful
Bandcamp's so
tool.
great.
Especially your local shit, like finding
Definitely,
local
yeah.
artists, man.
Bandcamp is definitely-
Sometimes
Download
they
the
don't-
app, y'all. It's free.
Download Bandcamp. Sometimes like your
Look
local
up bands in your area.
sometimes your local artists don't have like a Spotify.
Exactly, yeah.
Or they're not available on a lot of other platforms. And I found like a ton of shit on Bandcamp.
Fucking pile of shit.
Yeah. And it's so easy to use. You just type in
Gold.
fucking where you are or what
Golden
type of
shit.
fucking genre you want to look at.
That type of shit too also is just direct contribution to the band. You buy the album if you like it, the band immediately, you know, that's straight into their
To their
account.
pocket, yeah.
That's not no middleman type
Yeah.
of a thing. If the band has set it up themselves, then all of your sales on there, like personally, if Bandcamp had more music, like more mainstream type stuff, I think that would probably be the best platform to purchase music on because they have everything and then it also goes directly to the artist. But
True.
they're kind of limited as far as like they cater to the more underground independent band, which is a good thing. We need that. But I think they would absolutely kill
be-
as a platform if they
yeah.
had like an overall like you
You'd
could
be
purchase
surprised.
anything
Yeah.
and everything and it goes directly to them.
You'd be very
that's
surprised on
ridiculous.
the bands that we
so great that
like
exist, though.
that are on Bandcamp
Yeah.
that we think are huge bands.
Oh yeah,
They're
they do.
definitely up
Some
on
big
Bandcamp.
major bands
Yeah.
do have Bandcamp profiles and releases on there to purchase their, and because also you can download the music directly. So not only do you listen to it, you download it. You can pick like high quality versions. Lyrics are attached sometimes. Other things are attached. You buy a thing and it comes with like the music videos or whatever the fuck.
Sometimes doesn't it say like
Like
the
the
shows?
art. Yeah, it's got the
Yeah, shows that are
Yeah,
coming
that's-
up because you can link it in
it's
with bands in town.
very
I
useful
believe.
Yeah.
platform. There's even like you think you can sell merchandise now. It like links up to stuff like that. I think you can link up to your store. So it's all around. It's a great platform, and definitely utilize it if you are interested in seeking new music. And
Definitely.
back to this whole discussion of how I wouldn't have found the band if it wasn't for music discovery and just platforms that exist or coming out. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
So,
yeah. And again, please follow
Yeah.
these people on Instagram.
Yeah,
because
I'm
then
like-
you could, find their link on Facebook, follow them there, and then this will be one of those things where,
I'm looking at Bandcamp right now, and it's like the way
Very
that
personal.
it's fucking set
At
up is
Pissing
great. It like
Razors,
knows I'm from Washington.
915.
Like it's like pulling up all these local Washington bands. I'm like, how'd you fucking know?
Because if you have it set there.
I don't. I have it
well,
set here.
why don't we get into another song?
The song. This is that song we played for y'all earlier, just the back and AB it, but we'll hear the original from the demo, which is Box Life. So this is a song that they did previously on this album and then re-recorded for the second album, I believe. Their second album, they re-record it. All the members have obviously switched around by this point. So interesting if you want to go listen to the full release of this song and hear the difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out.
you know, I'm like, oh, I fucking just love metal.
Very different from the
And-
first song we played.
Very different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, on your demo, you experiment. Did I say experiment?
You're finding your sound.
Yeah.
You're trying to like.
It's great.
And you just kind of like mess around and try, you know, different things. I've heard demos of bands like fucking Soundgarden or Rage Against the Machine, and they were like, whoa, this is very different from what you hear on their very first album. And especially with a band like this, it's similar, but we have a big change when it comes to, you know, guitar player becoming drummer, bass player
That can
becoming
change
guitar
your
player.
sound
Yeah.
entirely.
But this still, like, their sound is like very edgy. You know what I mean? It's very snappy. Everything feels very cut, precise. It's almost industrial in some ways. And when I first heard this, I was like, are the drums real? Are they programmed? Because they were just so like snappy on point. And you made obviously it's triggers, and this is
Yeah,
the
it could
time
be-
of like where triggers are probably coming into play a lot more in just studio, and especially with metal. And you know, that's a taste preference for a lot of drummers, a lot of metal heads especially.
Yeah.
I've never heard any other fan of music break down how things sound. You know, like no one that's a fan of hip hop breaks down like, oh man, you hear the backbeat on this? Well, maybe they do. I don't know. But
They
like
totally
pop,
do.
They do.
or like, okay, maybe not that style of music, but maybe like pop. I don't know. But they really like, they'll be really critical when an album comes out of a band because, you know, you can't please your old fans.
Metal
with
does
your
have that
new
like.
shit.
You're not gonna have
Yeah.
like a stoner band with like a triggered drum set. It's not really gonna like fit
True, but
too much. You want that.
You hear
like,
complaints of like, I don't like how the snare sounds, or I don't like how those kick
Yeah.
pedals sound. A lot has to do with drums when it comes to metal, like how you get that precise sound of
metal
like,
and drums are like
Yeah.
the thing. Like, you know what I mean? You go see metal show, it's usually like
the drums
the
are
drummer is like
Yeah.
one of the things to pay attention to, in a sense. If
You're welcome, Scott.
It's a heavy workload on
it
me
is,
because
I
it's a
mean-
lot of pressure if I call myself a metal drummer.
But it's the
people
genre.
expect, you know, blast beats,
It's the
insane
genre, yeah.
rolls,
You know, I get
drum
all-
solos.
I get
And
so many
sick
comments
fills.
when I'm talking to musicians or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I'm dating a drummer, and they're like, oh yeah, what does he play? And I'm like, he's a metal drummer, and they're like, oh, so he does this, yeah.
so we can do double kick drums.
He does all the bass, he does the double bass.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm a rock drummer in a metal band though because of the insane shit I've heard. Like on this album is like these things are like not how I would approach some of this. You know what I mean?
Well, I think this is more laid back kind of drums. There's space. It's more lends to the groove thing.
Yeah.
That's where I think like.
And it does like an industrial in a bit because I'm thinking
yeah.
like Godflesh. You know when I'm hearing
the
this.
last song, which we'll play last, is one of the songs I picked. Has a totally different drum style than all the rest of the songs. In that there's blast beats. It's kind of all over the place. It's like, you know, to the point of trying to find your sound.
You're
know,
just
it's-
recording and then maybe letting it sit there for a while and
You're like, you know,
listen
I'll
back.
play. You find, you know
Yeah.
what, blast beats don't maybe fit the groove metal style. So then your later releases kind of get away from that, or maybe use it more subtly, or you know what
That's
I mean?
why I
Like,
was surprised when I looked at like their information. It just says like under genres, it just says groove metal.
yeah.
And it's groove metal is just a way of staying away from the word new metal.
No,
you
but
know,
I would say
in
that
a
they're
sense.
a couple different things, not just the one.
Oh, for sure. That genre should have been like that list of different genres should have been at least 6. You know,
Groove metal
Six
just kind of that
different-
like broad. I mean,
Eh,
yeah,
just
it's
throw
the
'em under
broad,
there,
like
yeah.
because they have that. There's the rap kind of funk thing they do, but then they do kind of do like complete groove stuff where it's simple drums, literally just
groove,
like,
but it's still like very precise. And
Yeah.
at this time, you know, think about what music was around in '96 or just in the '90s in general. We had in metal, the two biggest things were popping up was new metal and industrial metal, and that was kind of the thing.
Yeah.
And then some bands just kind of like dabbled between the two because they were the
Thrash
same
metal was
thing
kinda
in
not
some
the
ways.
thing.
They just became subgenres
Yeah.
based on that one thing that was happening in that time frame.
Yeah.
So you could see it all over the place. Like if you like this style of music, and you know this whole podcast is about discovery. I throw out like that band Scissor Fight, which you're gonna get the same feel from. You know, like even early Clutch. It feels around the same. And maybe it's because like in Texas, we have a little bit more of a twang or like a little bit of more of a bend when we play metal. You know, we just kind of make it, you know, that's just kind of our thing down here because it kind of coincides with country a little bit, or just like the vibe,
I hear that.
our scenery. You make music in El Paso in the desert. What do you think you're gonna fucking make?
Desert rock.
It's
I mean,
your
that's
scenery.
why,
It's what's around you.
Like
yeah.
a lot of Texas metal bands have that Texas type sound, and because they purposely tried to incorporate it or influence it.
Yeah,
you know.
at the drive-in, a lot of like Latin infused things going on there, being El Paso themselves, you know. And then we get on with like Ministry and stuff later on,
can
just
really hear
being
it in
placed
Ministry.
in, you know, and the great Buck Satan, great Buck Satan. I think it probably was a play on words, supposed to be butt. But think
All
about
the
it.
butt talk.
Yeah, all the butt talk here today on the BANGover podcast. You can kind of just hear this like a little bit of that little desert feel. You know what I mean? This little bit of groove, this little bit of like, you just get the sense of like how this was created. And, you know, some of those bands I just like Clutch right here in Texas too. So, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Kind
yeah,
of just
they
get
are
that.
from here.
Yeah, you kind of get that bend. And that's why I was like, it just, this band made sense. Like, especially I listened to the album after this, you know, the change around. And the song we just listened to, what is it called again, Chris?
Box Life.
Box Life. On the next album, Redone, you know, and it's, I like it a little bit more just because, you know, this is demo and then that's actual album. But still, I fucking love that song. And there's like, how many songs are on this album? 16?
It's what, for a demo,
Oh,
it's
that's a
pretty
long-
ambitious.
Yeah.
It's a long-ass demo.
That's why I was like, it's hard to call it a demo at times,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like, I'm sure it's more like their master works between, you know, in that 2 years before
Well,
without
they
them
did say
recording.
Early
count-
90s to 96.
They did in
Yeah.
the beginning of the history. They did say countless demos. So is this one demo, or is this
There's
several of
probably
them put
more-
together?
It's probably more of them put together.
It's probably, the
because
encompassing.
we hear like the style of just the production value itself as well, kind of like move a little bit,
yeah.
because it's DIY, it's independently produced, so you might have got all the drums in one place, or it's 16 songs, so you probably got like 4 somewhere, 5. You know, there wasn't like too much we
That's
could
what I
dive
mean,
in
like,
on this
for
one.
a demo, if you were to go into, like, let's say they even tried to do this.
This is a fucking
on
demo,
a
it
major
sounds great,
label, if they
you
tried
know?
to, yeah, for real. That's why I was like, if they tried to do this on a major label, this is like thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to record this type shit.
Oh, right.
To track all the drums, track all the guitar for 13 plus songs or whatever. And then the re-release that they're about to put out has 3 additional songs.
19?
So it's like, you know, it's at that time, and even at this time, in this day and age, conceptualizing a demo of that length and of this quality is kind of not really done too much.
And it probably was cut up in pieces when they were playing shows back in the day.
Yeah.
They would sell like 4 here, you know, blah, blah,
No,
blah.
but
You
who
know?
in the hell is making a 13-song demo nowadays?
I just feel like this is more of your static
more
age.
like-
Nobody would
yeah.
know.
But this is more like your Misfit static age, where it's like all my demos are
True.
just slammed onto this one.
True.
Hence why it's 16, you know,
Yeah.
tracks long. Because a demo, we all know, a demo pretty much has to be 3, and that's industry standards. It's really 3 songs. You don't, and then sometimes it's 2 songs, and one's just done in a different way. You know, like you have 2 of the same songs just mixed and mastered in a different way, or drums or the groove changes a little bit. You know, because you want to just kind of put a feel out and see what people like. They were like, oh, I really like this track off this single. And then you're like, cool. And then that kind of just gives you a little bit of boost and airplay. And then you can make a little bit of money to make your full-length album, you know? And it gets people talking about you, and it gets more of the hype of like, I'm not going to put in money for something that people don't like. Hence why we do a demo. Because, you know, you said thousands and thousands of dollars go into making like the albums that we all love, you know what I mean? You don't think about how much money that can go into some albums. Which I would love to see, like, you know, a breakdown of all the numbers and like the highest,
Yeah.
you know, because people always talk about that when it comes to movies. Like, what
Like
was the
costs
budget on
and
this
stuff,
movie?
yeah.
And then what was the
I mean,
return?
the
and what was
one-
the point of making it if it doesn't return three times.
That comes to
you know?
mind is Nirvana and Bleach, because the rumor is that it was made for like $400 or something like that.
That's amazing.
And that's ridiculous.
And that's insane.
That's ridiculous.
Dude,
so,
we kind of go back to those, like, we
but
go
how
back
many
to
songs
Bleach
are on
more
that? That's
nowadays.
like 9
that we just
songs
kind
or
of
something, you know? It's,
yeah.
it's not, it's a lot of songs, but it's not, it's kind of in that mid. This is a lot of songs. This is like almost, well, if you were to do something like this for your first thing, pretty ambitious. If you were to do, I don't know, I could pull it up.
Just
with the
record
exact
everything
number,
and see
but
what
it's like,
see what hits.
Yeah.
See what people really like.
But
Did
if
they
they
like
have
the
3
rap rock
bonus-
thing, or did they?
if you have 3 bonus, that's 19. You know, so like it's just I commend it because it's amazing and you just get more music out of it. But if you're, I don't know how much it cost. So that's another thing. Like maybe they did make it for less or about that price, and that's even holy shit.
Yeah.
That's like more bang for your buck type of a thing. You know what I mean? Like getting that much material for that, and then being able to shop this around, and then that's what gets you to the next plateau. Because that's what the whole point of it is
You're supposed to sell it to a record
supposed to
label.
use this to get you to your next thing.
Yeah, you go spend the money to cut
Yeah.
your demo, and then you shop it around. You know,
This isn't supposed to be what you like. You are like exactly gonna sound like, because this is just the potential
yeah,
where you could be. So
what you're capable of,
Exactly.
and that's why we hear many different things in this album, where it comes to your rap metal, to more of a technical side, and then sometimes it's just a lot of groove. You know what I mean? You can still hear like where they kind of like the majority of it's like this really just groovy metal. Because again, this is what's kind of like coming up at that time in '96. That's what was
It's-
popular, you know.
yeah, and
It was
then
my favorite music
even into
when I
like
was a
that
kid.
early 2000s. There's just like that rap rock, metal, new metal, like just all of that is kind of like starting to like gestate and really like come to like a forefront. Bands are like starting to play like a beginning of festivals. They were playing the smaller stages, and then they're like headlining towards the like mid 2000s. The same bands that were at the bottom of the stage or second billing now are at the top, because that type of genre's getting more and more disturbed. I mean, you said that. It's just like stuff like
Yeah.
that where you'd see them like, oh, they're there, and then all of a sudden the next year they're at the top of the bill.
I wish they would have just took the whole industrial metal route and just became more edgier industrial.
Ew, Disturbed?
No, Pissing Razors, because I feel like it would just
Well,
the name will fit in a little bit more too, because it's supposed to be like
We would have saw
you're
these
underground.
guys.
You're playing in underground debauchery scenes in late '90s movies where everyone's wearing leather and there's like
Yeah.
you know,
And you're behind a
strobe
cage.
light. Yeah, and the band's
made of
behind the
fucking
cage,
chicken
and they're just
wire.
like playing the most sick shit you ever heard, and you're like, who's this band? You know, and they're like wearing crazy costumes. I don't know, dreadlocks.
When did we see
Gimp
Ministry?
mask.
We saw them way too out of their prime. No, shout out to
It
Al
was the
Jordan
See
in
You,
the Ministry.
See You Later. It was like
It was
2009 or something.
2008.
Like 2008. And
I
we
think.
would have seen these guys play for Ministry, but they got replaced by the guy from Prong and the other drummer. But it would have been the guys from Pissing Razors playing in Ministry for whatever reason.
Yeah, well,
It
some
was
of these
that tour. It
members-
was
yeah.
like that time that happened. So that would have been a very crazy chain of events. And just them being associated with every other band, that they have an association with Rex.
yeah,
And then the whole Pantera thing.
and it's a lot of like Texas metal, because
Exactly.
of Ministry just moving down here to El Paso, I think in 2000 and something, and creating 13th Planet Studios. Yeah,
it would
because the
not
Ministry just
surprise
kind
me
of moved.
if they're just kind of
you know,
all
Detroit,
like
you know,
friends. You know what I mean? They like,
Texas.
if you're in the same, El Paso cannot be that large to where like the metal scene is that dispersed. So like,
True.
you know, you're all gotta be at least in the same kind of crowd or associated people. So I don't know. That's how it is in this town. Everyone, you're like, if
That's how it
if
is
you're in the metal
this
scene,
band too.
yeah.
Creating a what was the band with Rex Brown?
Oh, yeah. So Jason Bragg, who's a member of the, I guess we didn't really talk about too much, but he's a member later. He ended up joining Vinny Appice from Black Sabbath, Dio, and it literally just says etc. and
Yeah. Like,
and Rex Brown.
He's your go-to guy.
yeah.
And Rex
He was in
Brown
what
from
now?
Pantera and Kill Devil Hill, and has been with the band since 2011. Yeah, and
That's
then
awesome.
and then because we're talking about Ministry, Caesar Soto, who's also is another member of this,
I believe the
band,
third singer.
ended up joining Al Jorgensen
Or second.
of Ministry as a contracted guitar player, and has been with the band since 2015.
What? Yeah.
Yep.
And you can just see like,
And then
just people in tie.
in 2004, both Eddie Garcia and Rick Valles were contracted into Ministry as bass and guitar players, respectively, later being replaced by Paul Raven from Killing Joke and Tommy Victor from Prong.
That's his name, Tommy Victor. I've seen that guy so many fucking times. It's insane. Not that I've like gone to see him. He's just
He's
in
just
every
there.
band.
He's fucking
playing.
Been
there.
in 3 of the bands.
literally
and,
in, like, every
in
band.
2015,
Why are
he
you
was in
here?
all the bands.
You're like, dude, that's the we see Prong, we see Ministry, and then we see another
and
band.
we saw Prong. I think Prong opened up for Soulfly, and that was the weird part, is because it was like I think the bass player for Prong is the same from Soulfly. It's I think his name's Tony, but same bass player for Static X.
I was about to say, it's the dude with the beard.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
That guy is in
Campos? Tony Campos? No.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
we're gonna have fact check.
Sounds right.
We're gonna have fact check
Yeah.
corner.
But no,
But yeah, he
that
was
dude's
just
rules.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Yeah. But no,
So Eddie,
Tommy,
Eddie
Tommy
came
Victor
in.
everywhere. Like you need a guy to come in and play guitar for you. You call him.
Prong's not doing too well. No, they just released a new album, actually.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't listened to it.
No, me either.
Hey,
But-
when we get to a Prong episode,
Yeah.
What did you say he was in Static X?
bass player.
Hold on. I'm gonna fact check y'all. Keep talking.
And again, like back to the fact, like all these bands are just like
Yeah, Tony
coming-
Campos.
Tony Campos.
You're right.
He-
motherfucker, because he's in a
motherfucker,
lot of
yeah.
our episodes. He's your in-house bass player as well. You know
He's
what I mean?
the guy you call on. I mean, even when they did the Static X reunion thing,
Fear Factory, Ministry,
he's like a
Static
reason you
X,
kind of would go.
Yeah,
like I would still
exactly.
go see that because of that guy. That dude
Yeah.
rule.
I've met
Prong,
him.
Soulfly,
He's
and
fun.
Possessed. Did you just hear all those fucking bands I just named?
Yeah.
6 different bands. Fear
told you he was
Factory,
in Prong.
Ministry, Static X, Prong,
and-
Soulfly,
And then
and Possessed.
And before then, and what was the funny part is that's when
God damn.
Soulfly was up on stage and the bass player was drunk, and you could see Max like getting super pissed off at that bass player.
It was him.
No, he was in
and he's
Prong,
in another band called
and I met him
Assessio?
afterwards. But dude, and then like right after that tour, I think maybe on that tour he got fired, and then they just got Tony to fill in bass, and then he became the bass player for a hot second, and I fucking love that guy.
Oh yeah, I totally.
He's the guy I
know
gave the
fucking
flyer
guys.
to, and he was like, "What's your band's name? Free Show." You've been doing this for a while. No, that's not our band. God damn it!
That's like the biggest thing on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
flyers. This free show. And it's
I
like,
gave
is that
him
the
one
band?
of our like show flyers. I was like, dude, I just want to give this to you because I think you're awesome, and I want to be connected to you guys in some way. I was like fucking 20. I also got busted for weed at that show.
Yeah,
Dude, this was like fucking 10 years ago. It was not cool.
Can't do.
Yeah. But it's like this band is kind of like we always talk about like the similarities and crossovers almost in every episode. There's so much crossover because when you talk about metal, you talk about it in this specific time frame or area. People
Well, it's very
come and
incestuous. I mean, the
move-
music scene
exactly.
is constantly moving
Exactly.
bits of people.
And that's the funnest part.
This
what
band
we
is
were
a good
talking about.
example of
Yeah.
that. How many like different people, just musical chairs up in that.
Exactly. And from here, it could open up a gateway of other music or other type of bands in this vein that you'd come to fall in love with. If you're listening to our episode right now and you're just really loving this,
I think that also.
we're going to put a link up so you can find
Yeah.
all their stuff, you know?
I think metal in general is very community sort of like, even when it comes to, I'm thinking of like Megadeth and stuff, they're like, he's hiring out other guitar players. They're cycling through people. Ozzy does the same thing when it comes to like guitar players. It just like,
It keeps
Metal-
the band going and alive.
Metal and punk.
yeah, you even when
Yeah.
you're
Punk
when you're
constantly
replacing somebody, you replace somebody with somebody of equal stature or somebody who's gonna fit, but is also like brings their own like cred in a way, you know. Like, and I think that was kind of what we were getting in with like this band too. If you're replacing members with people who've never played shows or never toured or don't have the experience, and you have the experience, then it's kind of like taking a step back maybe, where you want to kind of keep going. So you're gonna hire, if you're Megadeth or whatever band, say whatever.
You want to hire.
You want to hire somebody that's equal.
You got to afford to hire them, and sometimes that's just not in your wheelhouse, and you take a chance on someone. But you also live and learn. At that point, you're like, I made those mistakes back then. Now I know what I've done, and now I can do it better at this point because now we can get back a group of people that I do trust.
You hope your band's at a stature where, like, if you do have to hire somebody, it's not, like you want people to work for you. You know what I mean? It's like at that point, it's like, oh, it's not even about the money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the guitar player for this band or whatever the fuck.
You should be like excited to be in the band, or if you're insanely talented. And sorry about that, Chris.
Yeah, Chris keeps fucking around with this dumb can.
He's drunk.
I kicked. He's
drunk off.
He's drinking his
hard seltzer.
His hard seltzer over here, like a.
Oh, you got a can.
Pansy.
Oh, this is just sour beer. It's not.
But it's a can. I'm just becoming.
Yeah, you get.
Apologize, Chris.
Can I try some of your hard seltzer?
It's already gone.
Oh, you're just such a jackass.
And he's drunk. So that's why you got to be like, all those bands, one thing in common, one person keeps it alive, It goes on for like 20, 25 years. I can't do math right now. 24, 25, 26. One person stays and keeps it all together. We know in Mayhem, it's the drummer. We know, and
we always seem to go back to this
Jordanson,
point of like there is one person that
one.
keeps that band together.
Eddie Garcia is that one. Shout out to Eddie. That it's and again I love that fact that it's a drummer because I'm like drummer power.
Oh my god.
But keeping it alive, keeping it pushing it, and that's why we're talking about it right now. We're talking about it right now is because he kept it up and going. And then now for their new releases, we have old singer coming back.
Well, I mean, it was the singer from this EP and the first 2-3 albums.
There you go, like coming back, doing work again.
Let's see.
The current singer is Joe Rodriguez.
Yeah, so he was on the first 3 and this demo.
Yeah. The whole
current members
just getting the band back
are
together.
Eddie,
Exactly. Scenario.
Eddie Matt Lynch, who we previously mentioned, Joe Rodriguez, and Gio Gomez. Those are the guys.
So you get 3. They got a new bass player, but basically 3 out of the original.
Almost original lineup, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome just to be even doing this episode right now because, listening to it, I was like, Chris, you've been talking to these people? Like, I'm like, this band sounds fucking awesome as fuck, and I fucking love it. This is gonna make me want to listen to more things, get on to especially the new album coming out.
Yeah, it's definitely a band I'm gonna want to follow now.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to hear their new shit.
Yeah. And then if they do tour, they're so locally based, they're definitely going to come through here. They're going to it's probably going to be a Texas run if they do anything right.
Yeah.
So
and I just want that shit to be loud, like physically, devastatingly loud.
I could see it here in town, it'd be like Lost Well, maybe Empire.
Even Barracuda.
You come and take it.
Yeah. Something like that. Given the right just audience and environment, I think that type of stuff. Austin's metal scene, and then if you do San Antonio's metal scene, obviously really good. So I mean, it just makes sense to kind of hit up this area.
So we'll get lucky.
Yeah,
we're gonna get a little lucky. All right, well, let's hear another song.
Yeah,
and grind on this motherfucker.
Chew on.
And then we'll come back with our final thoughts.
This is going to be another one of... I picked this one because it's another one of those different kind of rap rock ones. So it's just another feel for that... just just the blending of genres that kind of were like going on this EP.
Yeah, and very prevalent at the time.
Yeah.
Here I am once again in the same old shit. Don't like that slow because the shit don't fucking fit. When you're on the streets, you gotta grow up fast. Do what you gotta do and cover your ass. Never threaten society. And now they're calling on the government to try to make somebody black. Can't criticize me for the shit that you see on your TV, that racist and DC. Back to the front, like they fuck being blunt. My criminal record is all past tense. Cause I don't wanna see that through a chain link fence. I'm picking up flowers for the club. Cause I don't believe in fairies or Santa Claus. I never kill a man. If anyone asks what two clips and a nine in my mind, will cover the task. Don't bust the cap, bust the real rap. I got your back, but fuck that deliverer crap. Speak your mind. Don't go with the time, cause it's no use if you sound like a suit. If you're not hardcore, then hit the floor. It'll take you longer to step up and hit the floor. When you're on the streets, you gotta go fast. Do what you gotta do, or take it in the ass.
You know, I was listening to this at work and busy night, DJ playing, and
That's the
I
night to
couldn't
listen.
hear none of that shit because this was blaring in my headphones. It was like immediately cut it out. I was just like, zing. I was like, people talking, just seeing mouths move. I was like, finally. Pure bliss. It was fucking loud. That's what I'm saying when I see him live. I just want it to be like fucking loud, you know. I want to feel that shit.
I'm gonna rip your face off.
Yeah, my ears just like my eyeballs shaking and shit, about to explode. Fucking love it. Even though it was like kind of a rap rock song, it did get very, you know, real. You know, your down southern metal at the end.
It's the blending of
Southern
stuff
metal.
where it's like you got that clean vocal maybe, but then it's like the hardcore like sped up tempo. I don't know. Like
Yeah, it's-
heavy riffs underneath it that are kind of, I don't want to say they like are adopting it, but they're trying to do something different with that whole thing, you know.
We're all paying attention to Jack. This is why. Jack's jamming out.
Jack Brolette, everyone. He's my dog. He's an old man, and
He is jamming out on the couch.
yeah, he's doing his own thing. He doesn't care if we're recording, and we can't move him.
He's old and he's big and he'll bite
doesn't-
you.
He doesn't move well. It's like picking up a water.
We're really in his area. This is his territory.
Yeah, we're more like in the Jack living room right now. Gotta get my own apartment. Or at least my own recording studio. One of the two. So we're here at the end of the episode. Again, please follow these people on their Instagram. And then you can find the link for their Facebook. It's just Pissing Razors 915. And then you can see all the up and coming things they got going on if you're digging on this, you know? If you're grooving on this metal.
On the groove
You understand?
metal.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I got it.
And you
Yeah,
grooving
yeah,
metal?
yeah.
Get some merch. They post a lot of pictures of fans like sporting their merch. So, like if you rep it, they'll show you love too. So it's
So they'll post you.
yeah. So
Maybe, you know,
Be friends with them.
there you go.
maybe you don't even have to wear it if you're like a sexy lady. You could just kind of like half wear it or, you know, cut it up all
It's fucking
how you
bad.
women do. I don't know.
How you women.
They
sells.
actually
I am
sell
wearing a cutoff shirt.
merch catered to women.
They
So-
actually have women's t-shirts.
I believe
Most bands do.
That's not
a
true.
Progressive
That's not.
day.
No, fuck you. Look at my goddamn drawer.
they have
Nope.
they like their
Some are men's
beanies. They have,
sizes.
they have one that has like lips on it, like kiss lips. So it's like there's ones that are they cater to. They make different styles for everything.
I just want fucking t-shirts that
But
fit
even
me. That's all I
t-shirts
want.
that fit. No, they do. Yeah, there's
That's why
constantly.
I got it. That's why the
pictures,
cut up thing exists because I got to cut that because I got to make it for my body.
Yeah, the shoulders
It's
don't fit right.
having multiple cuts, having different logos, having different things that different different
Just different people.
gingers
Like,
could associate with or like. Yeah.
yeah,
Pieces of content.
different people.
If you're
like,
a real
different art.
girly girl, you might I want some little kissy lips on me.
all right, you're being a jackass. Some men like that too.
You want some?
Yeah, I could see fucking
Some
Scott
guys.
rocking some kiss lips.
Not me personally.
You're the one that fucking brought home like a bunch of girl t-shirts, tried to wear them because you like extra tight shit to show off your body, and I was like, no, babe, these
No,
fit
someone
me, and I'm
gave them to
stealing
me.
them.
Said they were a small. And I
It's
was
a
like,
women's small.
A women's small, but
You-
no one notices that when they. I just rolled up. It's just merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even
I'm
that.
looking at
women's
you like
sizes.
you're an idiot. Yeah,
I just bring it home. I'll throw it away if it doesn't fit.
I get them. They're mine now.
That's fine. I don't care about those shirts.
The fact that you can even just get merch directly through them is great too. Like Carp, for example, I remember when I had to like, how in the hell are you ever gonna get anything Carp related or like bands like that, like Underground? You got to hit them up. Hey, do you have shirts? Do you have anything I could ever purchase from you?
Yeah.
We had someone hit us up for an autographed
Yeah.
picture of us. To hang
Yeah,
up in their
this-
man cave.
What?
Yes.
And I'm just now finding out about this.
Hey.
Live on the can.
Wow.
So
Crazy
I mean,
people.
Someone
that stuff.
wants your guys' fucking John Hancock's?
yeah.
Have you heard our music? I mean, we're not
No, I
as good
tuned
as
it out.
Kissing Razors, but
But no,
we're
and this
getting there.
person is like from where?
Give us some time.
They're from like where are they from? That person that hit us up, they're from like some place out of the like state or something like that. They're not from here.
How the fuck they find out about you?
Yeah.
Because of the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's
okay.
like
That
that's
thing.
that thing. That's the whole big
Maybe
point. Where it's like
there's a song of ours that, it's just, he can't stop listening to, and he just keeps
Oh,
going
that's
back.
adorable.
Yeah.
By the way, their band's name is Flooded
that's
Tomb.
adorable.
Flooded Tomb.
And you can
Adorable
follow
band.
Flooded Tomb at
I love how
Flooded
you rep
Tomb.
your personal Instagram.
But not your, not your guys'
Well,
band. You guys are in a band and you don't talk about
Let me
it.
explain why.
Three
Because
people out of the band are in
if you
this
follow
fucking-
if you follow my personal Instagram, you can I have links for all the bands I'm in and all the bars I work at. Anything associated with it. Because there's shows at all my bars that I work at. There's
Oh,
there's
hey,
shows
I
there.
should start like saying stuff about where I work too because we have shows.
Oh, okay, that's probably something that
Just
you need to
reminded
do.
me
I'm
of
trying
it.
to explain my thing over here. So if
Just
you follow
reminded-
me at Scott Allen, ALAN 133, then you can see all the things I'm up to. There's links for all my bands. Yeah, all my bands. The podcast. You can find a link for any up and coming shows that we have for everything as well, and then you can
that means
follow
I have to-
all the things.
I have to really attach fucking links to my shit. To do
Again,
that.
something you should be doing off air. I don't know why you bring. Should be well thought
great
out.
on air banter. I don't know how many
We're just-
times
'cause
I
we're-
Radio gold. Never heard that term. We just need video gold now with Jack just beating the fuck out of Chris over here when
See,
it
this
comes to
is-
the couch.
The dog should also be off air, but he's a topic.
Well, Jack's a metalhead and he says he approves this episode.
It's just a little stamp of his face.
little pause up in approval of.
It's Jammin' Dog right there. And any other final thoughts, y'all, about this band?
Hope they come through. Definitely could see them at some spots here, like filling at least
Maybe
Like,
Flooded Tombs?
maybe. I could definitely see a crowd digging it. Like if they're as tight as they are on record as they can be live, it's like one of those things like they where there needs to be, even if there is however many people in the audience, there needs to be more. It's like one of those things.
Because it's going to be
Well, maybe this will help.
Because it's going to be that good of a
Fucking-
show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it'll sound that good and be that good. Like no matter however many people
Yeah,
are in
people-
that venue, there needs to be.
So
more
no,
because-
when you see this
Yeah.
pop up, on your Facebook, on whatever, you live here in Austin, Texas, you see Pissing Razors playing in town, you follow the Lost Well, etc. Venues like
Whatever,
this.
just keep an eye on.
Try
like,
it. Try it out. We approve this band that it's going to be fucking fantastic. They're going to nail it every time. I'm watching live videos all day, fucking
That, like I said,
performances,
the
drummer
drummer
just like the
manages
album.
all the sound and handles like a lot of their production and stuff. So
It's
it's
fucking
like,
genius.
it's always nailed down and stuff like that. The drum sound in particular, him being a drummer.
Yeah,
So
and a guitar player.
I bet the drums are gonna sound great. So it's like,
What does he write the lyrics as well? Eddie, let us know how much you actually do. Is it everything, or is it just the image, the social media, the sound, the drums, maybe the
his life.
songwriting?
Yeah.
Do you do the lyrics as well? No. Well, again, this has been a fucking fantastic episode. Looking forward to hearing their new album
there's
coming
gonna be
out.
some stuff this year that's
Death March 2020.
Yeah,
Look out for it.
Eulogy Death March.
Whoa, yeah, that's what I said.
Eulogy Death March. We'll also have what is it? The 20th anniversary of Fields of Disbelief is also this year, so we'll also maybe touch on that. So they got some landmark stuff happening this year.
Yeah, it's 2020, y'all.
2020.
So,
It's the year of the Razors.
wow, wow, the future. So, thanks for everyone who listened. And please, when you follow us on these social media websites, you can definitely jack, please. We're trying to do ad reads right now. Just a little show promotion. We have our Anti-Valentine's Day coming up.
Volume 2.
The day
Volume
before
2.
Valentine's.
Anti-Valentine's Day show.
So,
Fucking little
there's-
metal punk rock show. Volume 2.
Volume 2. The second one we put together Thursday, February 13th at the Lost Well, the day before Valentine's Day, but don't, it's just the semantics. Who cares, all right? We're going to have Hell Fury. We all love fucking Hell Fury, right? Sodomy Cop and Sex Cult. So it's going to be
Your other band.
my other band. Where I just day beat it down. I just fucking da-da-da-da-da. That's all I do. I just
beat
destroy.
the shit out of things.
I destroy.
Light TVs on fire and all kinds of other
Talk about Satan and drugs and
Yeah, it's all about drugs. It's in the name. It's called Sex Cult. And then
hailing
you
the
can
Dark
follow
Lord.
Sex Cult at Sex Cult-Austin.
ATX.
Is it ATX as well? It was just Sex Cult.
Oh my god.
Well, it was actually just
Sex Cult. Sex Cult Austin. You can follow there.
Let's get the plugs.
Yeah,
Right.
you'll know it's us. You'll know it's us.
You might get a wrong sex cult. if
Hell
you just
Fury
type
at
in
Hell
sex
Fury
cult.
ATX, and then Sodomy Cop just at Sodomy Cop. These are all Instagram. From there, you can find other links. But yeah, you'll see this show pop up on our
no.
Instagram coming up. And if you live in the Austin area and you love fucking metal, this is definitely going to be one of those shows.
It's-
So please come out.
Sex cult _Austin.
_Austin. There you go. We just made it today. $5 at the
What?
door.
Yeah, they just made it today.
Show starts at
Explain.
10. Yeah. And again, we appreciate everyone for listening and for Pissing Razors for kind of like, I don't know, like we could have just done it on our own volition, on our own will. If
Yeah.
and no one ever gave us permission in the past to do an episode on them. But, for them getting back to us.
Terry,
And,
shout out to Terry.
Yeah, helping us
all
with
of
this.
them. Yeah, been
And,
very, very quick with responses and just really friendly on Facebook and social media.
So yeah, thanks to fucking Pissing Razors just for giving us the honor of doing this episode. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank Rhea. Thank you. And Chris.
You're welcome.
And Jack. We're gonna have to work on this, bud.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys at the shows. For
sure.
See you, come out, have fun. Bang
And,
your fucking
yeah,
head, get a
and let us
bang
know how
over,
much you
deal
hate
with
this
it.
podcast, please.
Or love it.
Yeah.
Let's be
No.
positive.
We're gonna have a lot more coming up.
I need
this
some.
year.
I need some feedback. I need some critical.
Any
like, I need
feedback.
some-
Yeah, comment. Bye, guys.
And what's the last song we're playing?
Voice of Reason. This is that one I was mentioning earlier. It's kind of got some blast beats, so like really heavy, quick changes of the song structure and stuff. So it's kind of just another good example of where they're kind of just all multifaceted on this demo, trying to lock down their sound.
I'm fucking excited. Let's do it.
Sick.